It's a very good evening to you, and welcome to this special broadcast which is brought to you by Government Communication and Information System. It is 10 minutes past 6. It is a special broadcast brought to you in partnership with Community Radio in South Africa, and it's brought to you by Department of Justice and Constitutional Development. It's episode 10, and na libito ke Masutha Stone, and we are together up until 5 minutes past 7. And as usual, we invite you to join us in our discussion, our weekly discussion that we are holding every Thursday between 5 past 6 to 5 past 7. Tonight, we are talking prevention and combating of hate crimes and hate speech bill. And I know it's quite a very sensitive topic to many because probably they got experience of this. One way or the other, it's not a black on white violence or white on black violence. It's also the LGBTI. It's also quite a number of things which tonight we are in honor of welcoming the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Services and Constitutional Development, as well as Correctional Services, Ntate Advocate Michael Masutha, and he will be taking us through tonight's topic, where the aim is to raise awareness on the prevention and combating of hate crimes and hate speech bill, as well as educate on the importance of prevention and combating of hate crimes and speech. We also highlight the current status the department has in terms of preventing and combating hate crimes and hate speech, and we also educate generally ourselves as the public, mina nawe tina sonke as umphakathi rona re le baagisane ba Afrika Borwa. And please do give us a call if you can on 0800 142 446 0800 142 446. You can also join in on the hashtag Let's Talk Justice. It's a conversation on your social media, either on Twitter at DOJ_CD. And also you can get on Department of Justice and Constitutional Development. On Twitter, we are at DOJCD_ZA. Without any further ado, let me just introduce Advocate. Welcome to our program, and thank you so very much to make time in your busy schedule to come talk about this topic tonight.
Good evening, and evening to the listeners wherever you are, and it really is a privilege for me to be invited to this show.
All right. First things first, let's talk about hate crime. We know there's hate out there, hate of different kinds. Siblings hate each other, people hate each other. In Parliament somewhere we see a little bit of hating of each other. But now, let's talk about hate crime.
Well, hate crime is when you translate that hatred into a act that in itself constitutes a criminal offense. So you kill somebody because you hate blacks, or you hate lesbians, or you hate foreigners, which would be what we normally call xenophobia.
Yes.
You do anything else, any other harmful act, which in itself, on its own, is a crime, but in this instance, motivated by hate.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the hate crime combination comes in. And the hate part then aggravates your conduct, and similarly, it attracts a heavier penalty because of the aggravation.
All right. And now that is more on the doing part of it. Yes. Now, let's get into the hate speech part. Is there any difference? Is it a similar thing? We know it's a bit verbal, but how do we actually contextualize it legally?
Yeah. The hate crimes is where your state of mind based on hate influences your criminal conduct.
That's hate speech.
That's hate crime.
Okay.
Hate speech is where you articulate that hatred without necessarily, using force or contact or committing some other offense per se, but using language in a manner that causes harm on the next person. That's when you basically abuse speech, including free speech, which is protected in the Constitution, but in this instance, to cause harm on somebody else. There's a distinction between causing harm and causing hurt. Hurt is where you hurt somebody's feelings by saying things they don't like, but it does not go far enough as to cause harm, where you literally do what at common law is called verbal assault. So instead of slapping somebody with a with your palm, for example, you slap somebody with your words.
All right. All right. And I'm just thinking, swearing, which is one of the most common hate speeches we just get around, which remind me, there is a certain food outlet that even use that creatively to say, "Yo must a cause."
Let's distinguish between what we call crimen injuria in common law, which is verbal assault. So the example you've given would ordinarily at common law be verbal assault, but it might not necessarily be hate speech. You may not necessarily be expressing hate for a category of people because of their identity, say their race, their gender, but you may just be attacking a person verbally as opposed to physically. Now, that's already provided for in the common law. It's always been there for the last 2,000 years as a crime in itself. What we're talking about here, it's where the verbal attack is motivated by hate. Hate for a particular group of people. So, for example, if you verbally assault people who are black because of their race, specifically, if you verbally assault people because they are women or because they have a particular sexual orientation, because you hate people of that category, then your speech is not just verbal assault, but it's verbal assault motivated by hate. And that hate would be hate based on people's identity or attributes.
All right. The voice that you're hearing over there, that the advocate Michael Masutha is the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development as well as Correctional Services. But tonight we are talking more about preventing and combating hate speech and hate crime. So if you have just joined us, thanks to all the community radio stations who are partnering with us tonight to get into this topic. And then also you are welcome to call us on 0800 142 446, 0800 142 446. And yes, Minister.
No, I just wanted to clarify the names. There's two separate government departments. One department is called the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development.
Yes.
And another department is called the Department of Correctional Services.
All right.
But when the former president appointed the new cabinet after elections in 2014, he then established a single minister's position for both departments, and that is the Minister of Justice and Correctional Services. So that is the title, official title of the minister's position. And of course, under that, then you have two deputy ministers responsible for either departments.
All right. There you have it. More education on how we should actually brand our own South Africa and its departments. Thank you so very much, Minister, for that education. I didn't actually get to know that. And we've been doing this for over 4 years, actually, and saying Department of Justice and Constitutional Development and Department of Correctional Services. So today, I'm a better person. I got to learn something. Now, getting back into this, since we are talking that hate crime and hate speech are actually in the bill. Let's talk about the bill before we could get into the processes of actually launching a complaint with the police. Let's talk about the bill and what it says with regards to hate speech and hate crime.
Well, first of all, let's give a background to this bill. The Constitution has provisions in it that require that certain legislation be passed within a reasonable period after the Constitution took effect. Mm-hmm. So around the year 2000, a number of bills that fall under that category were passed into law by Parliament.
Yes.
Now, for example, one was the Promotion of Administrative Justice Act, PAJA. The one was Promotion of Access to Information, PAIA. Mm-hmm. And of course, the other one was what is called, paraphrased as PEPUDA, which is the Prevention of Discrimination, Promotion of Equality and Prevention of Unfair Discrimination Act.
Yes.
Now, that act only provided for civil recourse or remedies in the event a person is a victim of unfair discrimination. Mm-hmm. And that included hate speech and other forms of violation
yes.
of a person's rights, especially under the Equality Clause. Mm-hmm. Now, when we evaluated the effectiveness of that act, we realized that, the threat of penalties in the form of civil relief to victims of such human rights abuses didn't seem to be an effective deterrent on this kind of conduct. And we realized that there was a need to actually, up the tempo a little bit and introduce the criminal element to this. Yes. By making it a criminal offense and not just a civil violation of a person's rights if they abuse speech or they commit offenses motivated by hate of the kind that we've talked about.
Yes.
So the purpose of this act, therefore, is to bring that criminal element into the equation. However, I must immediately concede that the courts themselves overtook us as lawmakers. Mm-hmm. In the Mombek case, for example, which is a well-known one, where already the courts decided to impose criminal sanctions under the common law even before we pass an act of parliament that would ensure that people who abuse speech in the manner that was done there, where the K word, for example, was used to demean and to harm those that those words were directed at, where the court then made it clear that it will not tolerate such behavior and actually imposed a criminal sanction and even imprisonment. Mm-hmm.
You tune to Let's Talk Justice, Live Your Rights. We want to hear from you now on 0800 142 446, 0800 142 446. If you have any questions, any comments, you are a lawyer out there, you are a paralegal, you are an ordinary citizen of South Africa, Ndate Advocate Michael Masutha is in the studio tonight, where some of the challenges maybe that you might think we have in our constitution, or maybe an improvement that you might like to suggest, or even maybe tell us your story. Because I know many of the people who reside Kodi Plasing, they would understand this as like na munalhuana bad. Sometime when something happened, we know the stories of the Tsepo Matrojas. We know the stories a food outlet somewhere here where somebody beaten someone. Recently, on the 19th of September in Vonnerbloem Airport, We saw a video of some guys beating a security guy for not letting him out because he did not actually pay his due to the parking spot. And yeah, let's take France. France Ujwa Limpopo. Are we to France?
Yes, sir.
Legaina. How I can have?
That's what I program here or little and 2 years back.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Right, but problem is one. You're not trying to little and 2 seconds. A file a shake up. But what our way happy? Yeah, well, a back. Yes, if I appeal anymore. We're not going to fella. Yeah, or Barne, but I want to go high court. Now, appeal no one term to appeal high safety from clerk of court. Yeah, go high court.
Do you mind Morena France or go 2 years back kana re bile ra bolela kaeng?
Ke ile ka complain ka something engwe le re be corruption ile case yaka ba nyaka o itshista.
Okay.
And then by pay attention ka pianya Department of Justice I pay attention. Thereafter ya go ya jam. Yo na jale Ijemile we mentioned to one ke rena 5 years back. It was go high court ka re go high court legal 18 na le yona aina le yona mola ile ba from the onset it wasn't there. Or in other words it's like this. These people fail to appeal. But that story hela ile re sheriff se tsia tere mahato. Ba thoma ile ona ba re bona ba dire appeal. Bo dira interim. Then ya reverse o mo wa tselwa dikhatha ya ba tare tsa boela morao ka di-cost tsa go court.
Yes.
Or na o tla jwang di cost tsa go court di boela morao ene ka order ya manager of court.
All right, Morena France, I'm gonna just take this advantage because it's the minister. I'm sure he will have something to say in that regard legally.
Okay, right.
But as you know, re bolela ka hate crime le hate speech. Go tloyana ntate things that make us do crimes telling gore sometimes we are not even aware of in our society. But ke lebogile thata gore this program has helped you quite a lot.
Aha. Right. Ke ya rena motho a tsore mo are ba just because se lo se bolela nka re se mo retisha o ba se ka se mo tshwarisa a tsore mo are ba tswara na o tla khwa wena o tla khwa wena o khwa wena and then what are the backnya what is that?
Yes. Ke gona fela Morena France.
Lastly
okay.
Ke a leboa bana ba tsere my suggestion is at the end of the program, next time to get ourselves ready.
Okay. My producers, Malume Victor Pala is listening. Malume Khomutso Makinta, they are listening, and we will improve on that one. Morena France, ke lebogile ile tota ntate.
Le nano la le hole papa le a re thusa le hole.
Morena.
Ke a leboga.
Ke lebogile. Minister?
Yeah, firstly on the earlier one, e re ke tlhalose kere motlhomong ga lena le tsela e leng gore le ka kra nomoro tsa gage.
Yes.
And then la re ka dinako tse rileng ra fa batho ba department ba leng gore ba ka latellana le tabe gore ba go rena ga botsebotse tabe gagane ko kae.
That's right.
If the case is ke legal aid ra boledišana le bona ba legal aid ra go rena a bona ba re tabe e tla kae so that re kgone mo fa feedback.
Re na le nomoro tsa gage we will facilitate that one.
All right.
On the second one?
On the second issue ya gore motho tshushedi jaro o tla gwa ga ke tsebo rena e be le tshushetso e bjang ga ile gore ke tshushetso e leng gore e lebane le tsela ya gore o ba tshushetsa ka tsela tsa go tshwana le gore ke tla go romela batho ba go bolaya go ba nna ke tla go bolaya ka tsela e re tlwaetsego ya go tšea thipa go ba go tšea sethunya go ba tsela nngwe ya
poison maybe
or poison or whatever. Obviously that threat if it's serious like that it can be investigated as a criminal offense. E ka nyakišitšwa kwa gore na ana motho ga mannete o be a ikemišeditše go tshošetša ka lehuna ka tsela re tlwaetše upša le taba tša gore batho ba na le di bodumedi jo ba nago le yona gore motho a ka kgona go la ka remote control gobane go rapella gore o sepele mo lefaseng ke tsela tše e leng gore go ka ba bothatanyana mo tsamaišong ya tša molao go bontšha gore ka nnete motho a mean nako nngwe batho ge ba tlalane e le gore ba kwatišane ba na le go fošana ka mantšo so mantšo ao a ka causa what we call hurt obviously e mo ferekantše maikutlo but it might not go to the extent of harm or incitement to cause violence ka hwetša le gore no ba taba gore motho ba a befetšwa a sa tse gore a ntšhe pefelo ya gage bjang le gore a re tsebe gore na ba fapane ge ba e tla kae mo e leng ba feleleditše le gore ba fošana ka mokopa o phela it doesn't mean that in every case where people it doesn't mean that in any case where people have disagreements and use strong words against each other or automatically it would be strong enough to constitute or to attract any legal liability.
All right, but maybe just to get it clear, sho ukuthi umkhomba ngesonto sakhe uthi wena ka dibetche nyana wena o mokutwana nyana wena o tsebetse golo utlogwa and he's asking basically to say when somebody a go khomba like that using say your religion as we just said or using your body shaming kind of where does it fall? Already we know that there is a provision, but does it fall also within hate speech as well as hate crime?
I'm not sure whether the context would be religious intolerance of sorts that motivates the use of threatening language. It's a bit difficult.
It will have to be taken out in court.
Well, you would, even before you go to court, you would need as a prosecutor to really ask probing questions to evaluate. That's why we are saying that a senior person in the NPA should make a determination. It shouldn't be a junior because this area can be very complex and a bit tricky. And you don't want to take every other trivial dispute in society and elevate it to a criminal offense, bearing in mind that the criminal justice itself is heavily under pressure to deal with a very serious violent crime where women are abused, people are killed and so on. So you really do not want to reduce everything to crime, that even if it's an offense, not all criminal offenses result in formal prosecution. There are other ways of dealing with these issues, such as mediation between the parties to find a solution that is a win-win solution, or where the victim can find some relief of sorts through a restorative justice interventions. And there's what we call diversion, where minor offenses, do not end up clogging the criminal justice system because there are more serious issues to deal with.
All right. Thank you, Minister. Minister of Justice and Correctional Services. A very new, educated way of expressing it, I must say, but I'll get used to it. Minister, we're having quite a bunch of callers now because I believe what we're talking about is quite emotional to many people. We got 3 callers that I'm going to ask that we take all of them at once. Okay. And we start with Lydia from Limpopo. I have a problem with people saying I'm from Limpopo. Limpopo lelo holo man. But anyway, I'll deal with it. How's Lydia?
Hello?
How's Lydia, lega?
No, Figile.
Okay. Usis Figile from Kwanyamazane and Nelspruit. Kunjani suswam?
Ngiyaphila ngicela kubingelela minister la kunjani minister?
All right, njani ma'am?
Siyaphila siyabonga for ukuthi nikhona kuta studio nikhona ukusikhumbuza ngalokho. Kakhulu ke besingathanda ukuthi sibe la sathi ukuthi singafaka khona ama-comments noma singa-inquire indaba efana naleti ngoba ama-hate speech bantu bayawakhuluma each and every day, more especially bayasibita abasimaklasera and not knowing ukuthi sebayasihetha phambili. Sifuna kwazi ukuthi is there any legal maybe la singaba mixa khona ukuthi ureport khona ukuthi umuntu nyalo soyangithuka ukuthi mhlawumbe uthi nyamani, because ifeyisana kakhulu nalabantwana futhi labasesikolweni bayabitana ngalamagama not knowing ukuthi lo mnye umntwana se ufila njani. So I don't know ukuthi ningasita ukuthi where to report in case uhlangabetana nemuntu lazibita ngemagama la ngase right.
Okay.
All right. Quite a very good suggestion, Sisfigile. Is that all?
Yes. So singathanda futhi ukuthi sibe na more campaign around null spray since sithina sikhona ngala kanyamazana. La singathola ukuthi sikhona ukufundisa abantu ngale hate speech njengoba kubuya ngathi kusaseyinto lenhla but siphila nayo. Singathanda ukuthi minister azivakashele ngala indasi manene null spray sikhona ukukhuluma naye size konke njengoba ngichazile ekuqaleni.
All right. All right. Siyabonga Sisfigzo. You're listening to which radio station? Kasi FM?
Yes, it's K Radio.
K Radio. Thank you so very much, K Radio. It's in Mpumalanga. It's joined also by Emalahleni FM, Mutse FM, Voice of the Community FM, Mkondo FM, Bushbuck Ridge FM, as well as Voice of Hope. Minister?
Yes. First of all, any criminal offense, regardless of which one it is, can be reported to any local police station where the offense took place. But let me indicate that some of the examples that she gives where children can become little devils to each other, actually, to the point of even committing serious offenses towards each other. The school system provides for the maintenance of discipline within the school system. And the ideal would be for some of these problems of children and the kind of violence that sometimes happens, especially if it's not too serious, with somebody getting injured or killed, where schools themselves should be able to enforce a certain level of discipline, just the same way as parents and families and communities should be able to enforce a certain level of discipline within their own communities and within their own families. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as you are not excessive in the manner in which you do so. I mean, if you end up beating up children and that type of thing, then it takes another picture.
Yes.
So if kids become a little bit out of line in the manner in which they relate with each other, really the school must play its role. There is this concept at common law that a teacher is in loco parentis. It means the teacher is in the place of the parent. And the moment your child leaves home and goes to school, the parent of that child at school is the teacher. And the teacher has by law the right to responsibility, firstly, to care after your child, to ensure their child's safety, but also to instill discipline, reasonable discipline on the child and so on.
Yes.
So we need to exhaust these systems. This notion that abantwana bakaMandela abasathinta abasakhulunyiswa abatshelwa lutho, it's not true. It's people's own invention.
All right.
The law still recognizes and upholds the responsibility of parents, as long as you don't use violence against your own children. Responsibility of parents, of teachers, and others who find themselves in a position of care towards children. It could be a neighbor that's left with the children.
Yes.
For the duration that neighbor has a responsibility over that child, that neighbor has all the responsibilities of a parent towards that child.
All right. 0800 142 446. 0800 142 446. Let's take a caller from East London. Brandon?
Hello.
Hi, Brendan. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
All right, you can speak to the minister.
Yes, good evening, Minister.
Good evening.
Good evening. Yes, in your, at the beginning of the show, you basically articulated and explained what hate speech is in particular, and you used some examples there, and in both the examples, or at least twice in the explanation, I'm just going to paraphrase in a nutshell what I interpreted from it is a verbal harm against black people. So I was wondering, is it only restricted against black people, or is it applicable to other classified race groups too?
And then, is that all, Brendan?
Yes, that's my only.
All right, and you're listening to which radio station?
Link FM.
Link FM. Thank you so very much. And do we have one more caller? It's Lydia from Limpopo. How's Lydia? Oh, Patco. I'm gonna ask you again. Afrikaans, English, or Xhosa? Yena gatal me broer. Dankie. Jy's 'n regte Suid-Afrikaanse man. Morena. Ndati.
Umbuzo wami wokuqala ngifuna uqonda ukuba uyahamba uye police station and then udibana nomuntu especially evengleni apho usebenza khona usebenzela abantu abamhlophe ubizwa ngo-K word uyapha e-police station yo reporter and then lo muntu ebizwa ngo-K word uphumile evengleni uyikeshiya uyahamba uyaphuma wena yo report e-police station xa ufika e-police station bathi no izana lamntulwana okanye xa umbonile khona phela ubuzosixelela ingaba ke ngoku into enjalo ilungiswa njani eyesibini there abantu ufumana ukuthi no lo muntu lona ebefunyaniswe ufumana ukuthi une a pistol okanye 9mm and then wagejwa 15 to 18 years esetrongweni after egwetyiwe ingaba ithini iprocedure abayisebenzisayo tato Masutha ngoba kunabantu ufumana ukuthi umuntu lo urapile wabulala after 4 months or actually after 4 years uyabuya seke ngaphandle ngeke iprocedure abayisebenzisayo since sibona ukuthi no the crime iya increase masenze umzekelo jonge Cape Town eCape Town most abantu they are selling drugs, all those things, but amapolice instead ukuthi adlale the vital role abayidlali the vital role instead ukuthi babambe the culprit babamba the innocent people. Ngiyabulela kakhulu ngizomamela kuTakalani Community Radio Alvan.
Thank you so very much, Patco, and Takalani Community Radio and Link FM is also joined by Vugani FM, Rhodes FM, as well as Sajonisi. Let's take I hope, Minister, you've been jotting down. Let's take one more caller, and then we give Minister the chance to respond to all those comments and questions. Tsepo from Klerksdorp.
Still in Dumelo.
Abuti.
Lepezera.
How are you?
I'm how serele kanera.
Bontle bo so bo phe.
Ntate Hlamale. Ntate Masutha Dumelo.
Ntate le kae?
Ntate re a phela le phetselona.
A le rena ra leka.
Ntate we ke founana ke le mo matlosana. Mo Klerksdorp mo. Potso ka engwe ya pele ke kopa pele ke tswella kopa potso tsa ka restone data mang tsa gone go dikarabela tsohle ela ka dilatelana la ska tlola epe ya tsona ha tla go dikarabela.
I'm definitely sure that Masutha will do that.
Okay, potso ka ya pele le fokole keyword take care for ka for because I'm like these days how bua ke ke le part ko how bua keyword le Masutha
Morena Tsepo e re ke go emise teng fela fo. As Ntate Masutha has spoken, it's basically like it's a banned word. You cannot say it.
O ka tloga le bua fela.
Era o ka tloga tshwarwa le no ntse o bua le rona yang.
No, potso ga tla temo. That's why what re go stringa. Tena potso tsa ga ditemo.
Okay, but since we express it with all due respect, I would really like you to just follow the law in that respect so that you don't have to repeat it over and over again.
Okay. Potso ga ke gore le foko leo o le bitsa ha o le bua fela. A ke ka phoso ya lone ke go le bua fela o phoso ke ha motho go bolella lone or ha o le bua fela a ke ka go phoso go le bua. And then ha ke temo ganya go tsana lone o ka re gape because ke botsana ka re ntse re shebile ko morago too much because the moment re palla ke go le bua re tlo tsotsa re palla le ke go tlhalosetsa bana ba rona le bana ba tlang ko morago ka gona go tlhalosetsa gore why go tsa getseng go tsa bitla mo ntsong ya le fokole because re sa ba le go le tlhalosa thata gore re tlhontse le bitsa keyword de re le bitsang ka teng and then ba le ditlogolwana tse itla ga ba le problem ya tsone ko morago go tla go di tlhalosa tsela ya le gore go tlo re tsana so that's why ke re tsa go le bitsa le fokolela re bitsa keyword every time and then mo bana re ba tlhalosetsa ga ba tlhalosetsa the next question tate Masutha potso ya ke mo potsong ya ke mo dilo mo plekeng ya makhaladi ke dilo ke makhaladi and then mo makhalading gane go tla rata go expressa thata ka puo go rata go bua puo tse dingwe ga ba kwatile ga ba itumetse
le nne ke bua mangkgatele ya jo Masekos
ke ba rata go bua tse di ala ba itumetse la ba go kwatile go itumetse go biwa dipuo tse di yalo so ya no potso ke gore ha ba bua yalo ba go bitsa yalo bona ba go ha ba bua yalo bone ba go bua ba sa kwatela motho bone ba tletse go ba express ba bua dipuo tseo ba go gakana go ba etsa jwa so a ke hate crime or ke hate speech re Masutha and then the other question ya wa itse se Africa re ma Africa re gotle restone
era
ngara ke restone tla se bona or ngara ke o tla skoma so slabang
sabli
dipuo tsa ma Africa tseo so ya no re Masutha go tla go motsa mo kganya go tshwana le one gore ha motho ra re o tla sekoma so slabang o le bambeleng ga shone wa bona o tlo sa lone and then a ke tlolo molao and then ha ile tlolo molao or if se tlolo molao if a re ga se tlolo molao a le ke go tlhalosa gore ga se tlolo molao ka lebaka le seng ka gone sometimes ke tlo go bola ke re Masutha le bambeleng ka shone and then definitely be dira gala yalo and then ke go se re no mare why le re sa solve khanyele na ko motho na e report gore motho mo re tsa re o tla se bona so ke go ba re Masutha ka le ka go enkarabela ntho tshwana sa lone eo go ne go tlhalosa sentle ka le go ratata
a gore re gore o reditse se feng stationera
Live
FM in the Northwest, which is also joined by Mahikeng FM, Aganang FM, Moretele FM, Mabatu FM, Mudiri FM, Bukone Bupirima FM, Ratlo FM, and Star FM. Muranagar Lebuile Tata Tsepo. Thank you. Minister, quite very pertinent questions indeed.
If I maybe start with a last part of an earlier question by the lady was saying sport yeah ubuze ngendaba yama campaigns as well ukuthi sinaona ama campaigns aswenzayo nokuthi singaze sifike ena sport kune inkundla entsha esiyakhile pha ena sport the Mpumalanga province is the 9th province that will have its own dedicated high court. There's a building as you enter Nelspruit that we've just completed. So maybe what I could do is that the day that we come to open the court, which will be in the next few months, we could maybe double up with convening an Imbizo, where we have an open day where we talk about various issues in the community, access to justice issues, hate crimes, and any other matter.
Yes.
Which the community, are the courts working effectively? Are they happy with the way the criminal justice system is working? Even the civil justice component, etc.
That's right.
So that's something we can work on, and I'll raise that with the department.
Wonderful, wonderful, Minister.
The issue of whether this thing applies to all races. Can hate crime be committed by a black person against a white person, a colored person, etc.? Any offense, any abuse of speech to cause harm based on hate, whether it's racially motivated forms of hate, or hatred for people because of their sexual orientation, because of their gender, because of their origin, etc., constitutes hate speech if it is strong enough to cause harm. And remember earlier on, and this answers the other question about distinguishing between speech that could cause hurt.
Yes.
You know, I'm sure every day you experience with people that are close to you, your brother, your sister, your wife, even your mama, your granny, situations where you exchange strong language in the heat of the moment. You have a relationship, and part of relationships is that sometimes things go wrong, and it's just natural human nature. All right. On the flip side, you find people who express pleasantries towards each other, using language which, if they were to use against an outsider, would be deeply offensive.
Yes.
But because of the familiarity between them, you know, somebody would call each other, hey, nja khoyang, nja kajeko. You know, but if you're going to tell somebody else who you don't know is a stranger to you and call him a dog, he will find it deeply offensive.
Definitely.
So the issue of the pre-existing relationship matters. Now, there's something I'm going to have to do a little bit of education about, if you allow me.
Please do, Mari.
And that is how the criminal justice system works, or rather, how criminal law works. For you to commit any crime, it doesn't matter which crime. You can think of any crime on earth, except what we call crimes where there is strict liability, and I'll not bother you with the detail of what type we're talking about there for now.
Yes.
But ordinarily, any crime, regardless of which crime, for it to constitute a crime, it must meet 4 legal requirements. All right?
Okay.
It doesn't matter which crime it is.
Okay.
All right? The first element is state of mind. There must be the intention. There must be a deliberate, except in a few instances with strict liability where there would be gross negligence. But ordinarily, you must have the direct intention to offend somebody. All right? So the state of mind is critical. The second thing is what you are doing must have been provided for as a criminal offense in law.
Yes.
All right. So you can say something or do something which somebody else finds deeply offensive, but it's not a crime.
Yes.
A few years ago, I always give this example of adultery. Used to be a criminal offense. You could go to jail for it. Then it was downgraded to a civil liability. And now recently, in most instances, you wouldn't even be able to sue somebody for being in a relationship with your wife, let alone go and have this person go to jail for it. All right. So society evolves. So that hence we are introducing this legislation to say that speech of this kind is now a criminal offense. So people who could get away with it, of course, like I said, the courts have overtaken us and decided to go ahead of us. But we still see relevance with the introduction of this prohibition through this act as a criminal offense.
That's right.
So there must be a criminal act. In other words, there must be a law that says this type of conduct is unlawful, it constitutes a crime. Right? The third element is that there must be a connection between the harm and the person accused of causing the harm. So, for example, if somebody swore at you and you strongly believe that it is person X, only to discover that you've mixed up people, it's not him, it's somebody else. You can't continue and hold that person guilty of something that he himself has not done when it's actually been done by somebody else. So there must be a connection between the person accused of the offense and the offense itself. All right? And the fourth and the last element is that there must be criminal capacity. It means if, for example, an 88-year-old, calls you the K word, just because he's been hearing adults do that, and he thinks he's doing the right thing, you can't take that child to court. That child cannot be sent to jail for using the K word. The child is way too young to commit a criminal offense. Even if the child were to kill you, they wouldn't go to jail because they are too young to understand the consequences of their actions. All right. So you're going to have to look at where is this thing coming from.
Right.
You are a daddy, you like to use guns and you use them in front of a child. You think that you're training your child at a young age to know something about guns. The child watches movies, he sees people shooting and people laughing. He thinks it's a brilliant idea.
I'm going to be a hero.
And then one day, he takes your gun, you don't put it secure in a safe, takes the gun and say, Daddy, I'm shooting you. And you say, hey, stop, don't do that. And the next thing, the child releases the trigger and the bullet hits you. He thinks he's playing with you. He does not know that he's killing his own father. And he's not doing it deliberately because he's just a child.
Yeah.
So, or you could be in a mental state where you are not able to appreciate your own actions. You do something and you're not even aware that you're doing it. Or some people are called somnambulists who, in their sleep, do things without being conscious. So they are not in. They do not have the mental capacity at that time.
Yes.
To commit the offense.
All right.
Now, the other question that was asked is early release of people in prison. Now, except, for example, in the Pistorius case, you'd recall where the initial sentence was in terms of a particular provision of the Criminal Procedure Act where you serve only 1/5 of your sentence and then you qualify for consideration for parole.
That's right.
In all other instances, you must at least serve half of your sentence, whereupon you qualify by law to be considered for parole. Parole means that you continue to serve your sentence under correctional supervision for the balance of the duration of your sentence. And of course, if you violate the parole conditions, you become liable to be sent back to jail because of that. There will be an inquiry, and if the conclusion is that you have reoffended or you have done other things that you were prohibited under your parole conditions, then you will immediately be held accountable for that, and you could be sent back to jail. Once you are on parole, you can be sent back for not longer than 24 months at a time, and then we review your situation. If indeed there are reasons to doubt whether you'll behave, if we release you. So it's on a merit basis. All right? But in the case of people who are sentenced for life, you must at least serve 20 years. From 2004, it's now 25 years. So the first group of the 25 years is going to be 2029 because that's 25 years after 2004. But currently the law is 20 years. So you must at least serve 20 years. It does not mean that you automatically have a right to be placed on parole. You must convince us that you have been responsive to the rehabilitation programs that we have put you on. And if you haven't satisfied us, we coop you in. I understand I get taken to court no less than 20 times a week by people who feel that they should have been put on parole, and we have refused them parole, or we have deferred their parole because we feel that they have not yet demonstrated readiness to be released. Because remember, we have an overall duty to make South Africans feel safe. So we will not release you until we ourselves are satisfied that you are not going to go out there and continue from where you left.
That's right.
The other issue that was raised is the K word. You correctly cautioned against even the utterance of the word. I know that blacks would call each other, like in the movies in America, hey nigga, how are you nigga, and all of that.
I see Karabo smiling and laughing.
Now, even if the word would ordinarily, the utterance of the word would ordinarily constitute a criminal offense, remember I gave you 4 elements.
Yes.
That must be met. Not 3 out of 4, not 2 out of 4, but all 4.
4 out of 4.
4 out of 4 for a crime to be committed. If one of the elements is missing, there is no crime that's been committed. So if you call each other things, but it's not with bad intention, and because of the level of familiarity between them, and you're keeping it between yourselves, you don't use them in a manner that would offend the next person, you know? Like saying you blacks are just this or that and the other thing, even though you're talking to your friend, but in the process, you're basically offending a group, and somebody who's not part of your conversation, you know, feels offended by what you're saying about people of their race or their gender. Then you are actually hurting somebody else in the process, which is at least gross negligence, if not intent, because you're really wanting to hurt people of a class. Even though you're talking to somebody who you're familiar with, who might not take it to heart, but the manner in which you're doing it, you're causing harm to others who fall in that group. So again, it's a factual situation that you need to unpack. That's why we're saying that the person who should evaluate must be somebody senior enough to be able to deal with these nuances. Because if you're going to ask a junior person, they might be too mechanistic in the manner in which they interpret the law. And they might miss some of this important detail.
All right.
The other question that was asked is, so basically that responds to the issue of harmless exchange of pleasantries between familiar people.
All right.
Somebody also raises the issue of religion. If you say things about it was not quite, I can't quite remember how it was put, but again, the test is always to use the 4 principles, the 4 legal requirements to determine whether somebody has in fact committed an offense or not. I think that's the safest way to approach any criminal situation or alleged criminal situation.
That's right. That's the voice of Minister of Justice and Correctional Services, Advocate Michael Masutha. You can also join us on hashtag Let's Talk Justice. That's our handle. Conversation by calling also 0800 142 446. And let's take the last 2 callers because we're running out of time, Minister. Do I start with Helen from Vereeniging?
Ntate.
Le kae mme?
Re gona le kae bone?
Aowa, ke yona taba mme re thagetse ka nnete.
Aowa, taba di a tena bana mme.
Hey, o ka bo utlwile a mantsi ke maaka kana.
Nna re fole boga ga moshito o tsela pele.
Morena mme.
Ntate ke gopela go botsisa.
Botsisa ntate letona o gona mo.
Ke botsisa gore go baneng ntate a ke fa mohlala motho se o bolaya motho mo. Ha se jo bolaya motho o a swara maponisa ba mo tšea. Ha ba se ba mo tšere ha ba fihla ga magistrata ba re bopaki ga boe. Ene ka nako motho o hlokofetse motho ena a hlokofetse go ke motho wa ntate go le tšee. Ene ka nako ngwe ba go emisa ba re maponisa ba re sa le lebeletse di-results tša madi e ka be e sa le re ntakana mpudile ke fahlile ke maboe.
Hey,
go etsagala eng oa ntate le sa kgone ho lokisa dilo tše di tshwanang le tseo gobane ga motho a go ile ga a sana molema go bua mara re a tseba gore o bolaile ke Helena a kere jalo why ba re ga ona bopaki mara ka nako motho o rapaletse I want that nna re kwa bohloko sentate go fela moshito o tswele pele ka nnete e ke ba dire khotho ba dire dilo tse right se ngwane
a wa ra leboga hle o Helen. Is that all no batla go bolela le rena ka yona? Ke lebogile. I hope also o utlwile dithuto tse advocate Michael Masutha ntse a re fa tsona ka gore ga go sena di element tse 4 molao o tlo palelwa ke go thusa to a certain point, not really go palelwa, but o tlo pala gore ka se molao ba gone ba go thusa ba ire what we call toka, which is justice. Yamme but ke a tseba gore ba bangata pelo e lwantshana le maikutlo ha o tla o tsena pelo e lwantshana le maikutlo empa fela ha re o hlompe molao wa rona mohlomongwe ha ntse nako e ya lentse le tletleba jwalo ka gore jwalo a nka ntse re bua gore bophelo bo a change ntse nako e ya o ka fitlhela le gore mohlomongwe ka nako tse dingwe re fitla mo e leng gore dikeletso tsa lona tsa gore ha motho a shwele re mmona gore ke yo re tseba re ke o Helen kapa ke stone a mo bolaileng jwale tlamile re etse seo re le buile a o lo hle o Helen.
Thank you ngwana mme moshito o tswele pele a ke
thank you re le boela thetso ya hao mme. All right, the last one, advocate, before we give you a chance to wrap up. Yeah, Chabedi Tsapedi from Zebediela. Morana Kalika.
Right, man.
A gore lokisetse lebitso la gago ba nkwaletse makoporoshe moma.
Oh, I get Tapedi, man.
Tapedi Morenaka.
Tapedi cha
TJ. Morena TJ, welcome to the program. Kapelenyana fela. Before if Minister a chance to respond.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, ke mo BFM. Yeah, dumedisha advocate Michael Masutha ka mo.
Oh, na mo ka bolela le yena.
Yeah, advocate.
Age.
Tobe.
Dumela.
Yeah, topic ke ko le hate crime and hate speech. Ke nyaka o bolela ka ya hate speech re o kana go o kopana le motho wa mosadi. Jale ka ge le gore natle re tsere molao dula ba tshireletse basadi ba natle go a dira ka taba gore ga re ge a o threatena ka mantšu a bogale a re e le ge a nyaka go feleletse o moisa matsogo a no feleletse ge e le gore nako nngwe wa go rogana mpa re hei yo tla o bontšha gore ke tla go diang nna mošimanyana napile o se napile se tlabe se dirang o ra gore jale ka e re tse gore molao wa ba tšireletša napile go ka lena se napile se pataba mputo e tla feletsa e ba zwang gona fale ke nyaka go check ene ga mosadi a o threatena ka gore basadi ka tsebo gore molao wa ba tšireletša o ra gore napile santse ke direng tabe ya mputo
ke gona fela Morena TJ
ya ke gona fela ka mokgo advocate.
All right, re lebogile gagolo ke nagana gore o theleditše ZBFM agre
ya ke theleditše ZBFM
aha re lebogile kudu ka mala
advocate
Morena advocate
the last one pele ke lebala hona le se seng ke se lebetseng ko morago o mong o ile a botsisa hore he a fihla ko police station ba re a ro reporta motho wa lekgwa a mmeditse ka K-weight ba re tsa mo lata motho o tle le ena go ba any inappropriate response tswana le le podisa ha le go tshwere gampe ka tsela o khona gore mo report o ka thoma ka go kopa gore o buele mo tsamaisi wa mo police stationing eo o tlhalose bothata bo nang le bona bo eleng gore motlhomong a ka borarolla semetseng mo o tla complainang gore ga wa fumana thuso kapo tshwaro e maleba ha no fitla ko police stationing he o sa fumane thuso e se metseng ka yona nako eo go ba golwane ba motho neng o reporta tlolo molao eo khwene o ka gona go fitisetsa ngongorego ya gago go ba ba bitsang gore ke IPID Independent Police Investigation Directorate.
Yes sir.
Ba ilong hore ke bona di ba tlhokomedi ba maitshwaro a ka bang a le teng a mabe a sepodisa tabeng ya go go sebeletsa le go sireletsa setšhaba e ka ba e le gore maphodisa bona ka bo bona ba tsene bosenying e le ba dira tlola molao goba e ka ba e le maphodisa a palla ke a retelela go go fa thuso e maleba he batho ba fitlhile ko police stationeng ba tlo kopa thuso molao o go fa a recourse ka mantswe a mang the same thing happens le magistrata ha ile re o a motseba hore o ena o tja tjotjo case inwelele goba ke prosecute ke motšhotšhisi lena o dia ka ona mokgo or any other officer of court there is recourse gona le so ba re ke magistrates commission e leng gore o khona reporta magistrata e leng gore ga itshware ka tsela ya maleba o tla tagilwe mmerekong a khone go tsamaisa dikgetsi ka tsela ya maleba ka baka la maitshwaro a hae ba o na le tlhekefetso mo bo mme ka tsela ya ba tshwarang ka teng bjale le bjale go ba ile motšhotšhisi the National Prosecuting Authority o reporta ko senior ya gagwe senior ha sa iri tsone o reporta ko senior ya bjalo le bjalo ge le for example le lawyer ramolao e leng gore ga go tshwara ka tsela ya maleba gona le ga ile attorney ke law society e leng gore reporta ko yona he le advocate gona le the bar council e leng gore khona reporta bjale le bjalo so there is recourse for unethical or unprofessional conduct on the part of officers of court to the relevant authorities.
Yes. We left with 3 minutes. Let's just try
and then quickly the other two, delaying matters and issues of proof. Ra kwisisa hore nako nngwe le re motho re mmone a bolaya motho. All right. Le ditlhatse obviously ke lena tshwantse le fe bopaki le gore bona ba sepodisa tshwantse le bona ba ire dinyakiso tsa bona tse maleba tse independent di forensic investigations tse le rena kongwe ke nnete dina le go tsa sebaka he le gore gona le bothatanyana bo le nang le bona ka tsela nyakisiso e tsamaiswang ka teng goba le bona o kare kgetsi ha e tsamaye le hona mo le khona gore le reporte le ka go ba tšhotšhiseng le botsoro ana case ya rena sa le re emetse bathotšhisi tshwantse ba khone go latelana le kgetsa lona le sponisa ba utlwise gore ana bothata bo mokae ba khone go rarabolla empa ke nnete gona le nako ngwe le gore bothata ke bya gore bopaki ke bona bo bonyakegang so re rata gore ka matsatsi a technology mo ileng gore batho ba khona gore ba romele ditshwantsho ebile ba re they have gone viral le bjalo ditshwantsho tseo di a thusa kana go nngwe ka go fa bopaki matsatsi a ga gona motho a senang le cell phone a re di sebediseng ge re bona bosenyi re khone go tlisa bopaki le he lo re bopaki bo na go nngwe bo tla batla gore le bona bo testiwe ka ra go rona dilo ba re ke di photoshop motho tsa se tshwantsho wa se change o se ira gore e se ba se seleng sono kre tsona di viral tseo kre lo ke dilo tsa maka mara how di shebile o bona ka re ke nnete that's why ko molaong dilo tseo di tshwantse di testiwe ka se forensic ke di expert go bona gore ana ke nnete so se tshwantsho se ke se tshwantsho sa nnete lentso le le buang mo ke lentso la motho la mannete na goba khala doctor wana the issue of protection of women the law does not discriminate molao khao tse karola ga tse le tlhakore
yes sir
o shebana fela le gore ke mang a sentseng motho wa mosadi a ka senyetsa motho wa monna motho wa mosadi a ka senyetsa motho wa mosadi o mong motho wa monna a ka senyetsa motho wa monna o mong go a le gore ana motho ke eng se a se dirileng se e le go tlola molao so e leng gore se tla mo felletsa se mo iste tronkong re na le bomme ba bangata ba leng tronkong tse ka ge re bua bjana tse ding tsa ditronko tsa bomme di tletse ka gore no go sa shebellwa gore go ditronko re tla ba le bomme ba bangata empa bona ba teng so molao ga o le kgetholla go romang segolo go gore le rona re itshware rena banna rena le gore ga re pallwa ntweng ya mantswe e be re berekisa letsogo la bona so ke mo re senya gontse ka Sepedi ba re setlhare sa mushi go go tlogela
ke go
katoga ha o bona gore ai mo go a fisha ka mo kitchen e tsamaya o betha ke moya kwa kontle o tla re ga shetse go fodile ka mo kitchen wa boa
empa ba la ruri ba ya ba reng ba bo minister but anyway that's
a ba boa e bantwa ya go feta ele a ke re yang di bareng ke re o ka wa ile betha ke moya nyana mohlomong maikutlo a tla ba ehlile don't take the law into your own hands whether umme or untate.
You've been listening to a special broadcast. It's brought to you by Department of Justice and Constitutional Development, as well as Government Communication and Information System. The State of the South African Human Rights Commission and the Commission for the Gender Equality have a duty to promote awareness of the provision against hate crimes and hate speech in order to prevent and combat these offenses. So stay focused. And thank you so very much to Ndate Advocate Michael Masutha, the Minister of Justice and Correctional Services. And for you to be here and also to share your insights with us. And may the department continue doing what's right for the community of South Africa. Thank you so much. All right. Up until next week, we will improve definitely that we do have a topic for the next Thursday. But today, unfortunately, I don't have what we're going to be talking about next week as per the suggestion. But we will improve on that definitely. And thanks to Karabalans, the man who's been laughing over some American word that was mentioned here. And Malume Victor Pala, Libo Tlefela, Baba Kholo Leba now on the other side. Thank you so very much. Good night.